Okay, so we are in Israel, and is this recording? Good, it's recording. Okay, and we just came to a Bedouin shucks. Oh, museum. Sorry, my mind's a little still not woken up completely. And just learning some really cool things. So let's see the random stuff. So here we go. There's a Bedouin tent behind us. And number one, in the wild, the reason Bedouins use tents is because in the desert agriculture isn't your main form of living because there's just not enough water, so you live off of the animals. And animals move, animals need food, so you have to move. So you live in a tent. And there's two tents. There's a summer tent and there's a winter tent. Winter tent is made out of goat hair because when the rain falls, the goat hair swells up and it makes the whole tent waterproof and it keeps it nice and warm and comfortable and cozy, and it's just a thicker material. And then when it's drier, even in the winter, it opens up its pores, and so just air and oxygen is allowed to flow through a whole lot more. And then in the summer, you use just more linens and other things to keep the sun away, basically, but still keep you cool. Then, I'm like rushing because our class is going. Then the tents normally have two sides. One is the main side, and that's where the family is normally living day to day, cooking, the mom, the children, the husband. I mean, it could be anyone and everyone that's within the family. Only the family's allowed in this, and this is so interesting because they really protect and this is, some people may not agree with this, but according to them, and it makes sense to me, they're trying to protect the dignity and honor of their women. So no strange man, no stranger, someone that's not in the immediate family is allowed to mix with the woman. So, okay, so that's two sides. So the one is where all the women and family are, and the husband if there's no guest, and then there's the guest room, which is what we're kind of sort of looking at here, although it's dark. And the guest room is where it was the man's responsibility to do all the hospitality. Now the woman would cook and all that, but the man was the one that was supposed to be entertaining the guests. So when a guest would come from the wilderness, it was rule among all the Bedouins, among all the nomadic societies, you had to take them in. It didn't even matter. And you had to take care of them for 3 days and a third of a day. And during that whole time, you never even asked them who they are. The first things you are instantly asking them, coffee, tea, food, because in the desert, life is you're so dependent upon circumstances that this is not a time to care about who this person is. We are here to help you. So it doesn't matter who they are, you take them in. Then when you would come in, you'd be offered tea or coffee, and then here's an example. I mean, when we came in, of course it's a museum, so you could say it's for show or not, but this is what it would look like. And then you would be invited to sit down, you relax, get comfortable, and you sit and you talk. And again, it was the man's role to be the entertainer for the guests and get to know them. Biblical story. Okay, so this is so cool and exciting. So here we go. In the Bible, Abraham is sitting at the door of his tent, and he sees the three men walking, which we know are two angels, and it's the Lord. And he runs up to them, and he doesn't know it's the Lord and the angels yet, and he invites them because it's his role. It's a part of the culture. He has to be hospitable, but of course he wants to as well. So he brings them in, he invites them in. He invites them to the one side of the tent, which is where he would be, and any other man in his house, but he would be there. And his wife, Sarah, would be on the other side of the tent preparing everything. So when the Lord says, this time next year, your wife will be with child, it says that Sarah was behind the curtain and that she laughed. So God, I mean, of course he's God, so he could see, but as a human at this moment, he wouldn't see her in theory, right? And he says to Abraham, why did your wife laugh? And she said, I didn't laugh. And he says, no, you did. But this was the setting. This is where it would have been happening, this type of environment. So it's so cool and exciting to see how these things come to life. So anyways, okay, there's a lot more, but we're running late and I got to go. So actually it was very exciting, it was very warm, very hospitable, it was super cool. And and the guy made a comparison. He said, today if someone comes to your house, what do you instantly do? You look through the peek hole and you're like, who is it? So the first question, who is it? I don't want to talk to you, or I do want to talk to you, but we're just living such a different day and age today. And so just an interesting comparison. So Bedouin culture, the tent divided in two sides, men and women. Men and women, when it was people visiting, only the men were on one side so that the women weren't intermixing. Women would cover their face because they don't want men looking at them inappropriately. single women wear a specific color on their dress so that when they went to the watering hole, because the watering hole was a public place, so then you could talk to women there, but you had to know who was married and who wasn't, and they're running, so I gotta go. All right, anyways, a lot more to learn. Land of the Bible, so fun, so exciting, everything's great, it comes to life here, and God bless. I have no idea who's gonna see this one day, but whoever you are, be blessed, have a great day. All right, bye.